Welcome back, everyone, to Pontos, Fathom, Hobbies. This is Season 10, Episode 1 of A Song of Ice and Fire tabletop miniature game. We are playing House Tully versus Highgarden. It's the Tully Cavaliers along with their northern comrades, House Stark, versus Highgarden with Renly Baratheon and the Baratheon Stag Knights, Sentinels, and Wardens. So we're jumping right into round number 1. We just did our sit-up round. If you go back and check that out. We've got Caitlin Stark, Sansa Stark, Alistair Florent, and Shira Errol as our non-combat units. We've gotten our tactics cards for each group. Basically, this is kind of like just trying to play out the scenario with Highgarden pikemen, which I'll show you guys here. Got these guys painted up recently. You can check these out. Quite cool. We've also got Renly painted up as kind of like a Highgarden guy. He's got his green cloak as opposed to the gold cloak, Renly. And they are going to be fighting against, using their pikemen as a defense against not only the Tully Cavaliers, but also the Stark Outriders. So we got Tully Cavaliers here. And these guys are right off the tourney. Hard trained tourney guys. But yeah, anyway, it's kind of cool set of minis. Thought it would be cool to mix it up and call it Highgarden versus Tully. It's really Tully Stark versus Highgarden Baratheon. So we'll jump into it. Before we jump into round 1, quick shout out to this channel's sponsor, Pontos Fathom Press. We've got the Cat 2 journals out of Lovecraft's Providence Omnibus. This is the collectible version of the 6 original volumes of August Moldenhauer's Genealogy of Cthulhu, Archaeology of Yog-Sothoth, Psychoanalysis of Aurelia, and Giuseppe Balsami's Hermeticism of Hastur, Alchemy of Azathoth, and the lauded Necromancy of Nyarlathotep. These guys help us to support the channel. We also have got a number of other books out in the bookstore link. Go check out the bookstore link in the description below. We've got Alchemy and Anthroposophy and the Dune Saga for you Dune fans. We've got our podcast series, Esoteric Dragon Mysteries. We've got an essay in here, Decoding the Dragon Symbol in Myth and Occult, talking about the esoteric dragon, looking at George R.R. Martin's view of dragons versus Tolkien's dragons, but also things like Tiamat, Saturn and the Dragon, Dragon and the Grail, Dragon and the Cross. And finally, we've got The King in Yellow and Lost Carcosa and the Yellow Sign. Something for everybody out there in the bookstore. If books aren't your thing, go check out our Patreon. If you still like to support us, for as little as $1, you can stay on top of our Song of Ice and Fire gameplay and miniature painting. We are playing Tainted Grail this year. We're also working our way through old school D&D. Lots of painting videos going on. We've got Highgarden, the Highgarden pikemen. We've got the Tully Cavaliers out there. We'll be painting the Martell starter set that we've recently picked up. So looking forward to getting into that. So without further ado, let's jump into round number 1. Okay, so let's jump into round 1. We're gonna start out with positioning our our Highgarden pikemen in that defensive position. So let's go ahead and Highgarden pikemen. We're going to activate these guys. They've got 5 march. Let's put them on a pivot, move, and pivot. So they can pivot to this. We'll give them the 5. And then once again, they'll pivot up like this and get them in position to absorb these attacks from the cavalry from either the the Tully Cavaliers or the Outriders. So let's go right to the Tully Cavaliers. We'll jump in with our namesakes here, Tully Cavaliers. They've also got a 5. Give them a similar move. Pivot. Let's have them move out to like this. And they can pivot also like this. Move these back. Got the turn indicator on turn 1 here. As usual, the first round is always a bit of maneuvering. Let's also go ahead and get the Outriders. They will also pivot. Get them to move their 5 as well. And pivot again. So we've got those activated. We'll have Renly and his forces do a similar move. Actually, they should have gone first, so I'll just pivot them here. We'll move them out as well. Put this here. Highgarden pikemen. We'll grab our Stag Knights have moved out. Let's go ahead with our Baratheon Sentinels now. You know what we'll do? We'll do a charge with our Sentinels. Baratheon Sentinels will do a charge. They've got 5, but if we put them in a march mode, they can do double SPD2 and then pivot. So let's give them a 10. We'll move them here. They can also pivot to here. We'll do a similar thing for Rob's. We'll have Rob's Sworn Swords. Let's have them also do a march. Sworn Swords with a 5, that'll be a 10 as well. Okay, next up, back to Baratheon. Let's just have our Wardens. They'll have do a maneuver. They're going to do a pivot. They're going to also move their 5. And do a full pivot here right behind those Sentinels. And let's go ahead and do a similar thing with our other units of Sworn Swords. We'll have them do a pivot, have them do their 5, and I'll have to do a pivot again to come into there. Finally, we've got Grey Wind here. We'll just put this pivot, and again we'll do a march as well, so just move the 5 here, and then actually I think Grey Wind's movement is 6, so we get to move to the 6 here. I'm moving with Rob. Okay, then from a point of view of our cards here, we've got Tactical Regroup, Northern Ferocity, Advanced Fire. Let's see, going back to Alistair Florent. Alistair Florent's going to grab 1 free maneuver. So we'll move the pikemen out 5 as well, and pivot them here. So pikemen will be fulfilling that, and then finally we'll give We'll give Caitlin Stark, the enemy must make a panic test. So let's have the enemy make a panic test, just for fun here. And they passed the panic test. No panic from our Baratheons. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up for just the initial kickoff. So we'll advance to our turn to turn 2, round 2, and we will see you guys in the next round. Thanks for watching. Click through to our second video. You can also go check out the startup if you're just visiting us for the first time. You can see the setup. See you in round number 2. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.